Business Network, and we are putting God back in business. It is Wednesday. Today is Wednesday, and we have a special treat for you today. God has a plan, and we're a part of it, and we would love to introduce to some, represent to others, our dear friend, our long-term GCBN member, Dr. Chi Chi is in the house today. I'm so excited, Chi Chi. I've been excited all week. I just want to say thank you again for joining the Living Well team panelists. I'm so excited about that. When we spoke over a month ago, and your reception to it, when God laid you on my heart, and Julie Mills Watson threw your name out there when we were talking about the restructuring from Wellness Wednesday to Living Well Wednesday. You're at the top to say, come on in.
Awesome.
Yes, and you received it. And you were like, I'm in, Beth, I'm in.
Yes,
Thank,
yes.
thank you so much. And this year we're talking about the shift, right? This is the
Yes.
year of the shift. And I'm sure you had a chance to look over some of the material already, and that you're in a position where God is going to use you mightily. This
Uh,
year, living well is expanded the Wellness Wednesday portion from focusing so much, still doing that with Jessica Banner, and Christine Oswald is coming back in February. We're so excited for that. And myself and Julie. And whenever you're able to join, we're going to, the first 2 weeks of a given month, we're going to focus on mental well being, emotional well being, and those sorts of things. But the latter part of the month, we're going to have an opportunity to bring Julie on, and she has a dedicated third week of each given month to be able to facilitate in general well-being, and then to have you come to with an emphasis on gut health, like today, talking about exercise, and it's expanding our understanding and expounding upon your great knowledge related to physical well-being. Thank you, Dr. Chi Chi. Introduce yourself to the people. Tell them who you are, what you do, and why it's very important for them to know for us.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Chichi Nwankwo Ezike. So whichever one that's easy for you to pronounce, I am good. I actually originally born in Houston, Texas, raised in Nigeria. And I went to medical school here in US. Well, I did my first 2 years in the Caribbean and then the last 2 years in Chicago. So here I am, fast forward years later, I decided that, you know, well, you guys will hear me talk about it, during my presentation, but my health and wellness interest started when I was diagnosed with high blood pressure. And I was just like, oh no, this is not happening to me. So anyway, you guys will hear the passion. You guys will get to understand why I am very, very passionate about being healthy and understanding your why. So that's a little bit about who I am.
Wow, I'm so excited to learn more about that. I don't know, in all the times that we've gotten together, I'm sure I've heard that story, but I'm interested today to get that refreshed. Living well is important to doing business. And a lot of times we think the business should be the total focus for us. And how's my business health, and keeping focused on our numbers and our clients, and all of that is essential and important. But if we're not well, physically well, emotionally, mentally, it's going to be difficult to be able to operate that business successfully. And we learned that during COVID, that the mental anguish, the emotional withdrawal, and the different feelings that COVID brought along with it placed us in predicaments. It didn't help that the country was that the listen, internationally, the world was shut down.
Right now,
But
yes.
we learned the urgency, and that's where we brought on, and Wellness Wednesday was born out of that. The shift, as God has given us this year, living well, is to make sure that we're not only focused on just two specific areas, but that we're broadening that for an opportunity for people like you, professionals, medical professionals, to come and join our platform to talk to us about how we can, as in the words of Julie Mills Watson, take those uh make those small shifts that make great impact,
Mm-hmm. That
Awesome.
is so true.
Well,
So
listen, this is you. Let's walk it out. What has God given you for us today?
all right. So first thing is first, before we start, I'm just gonna read out, from my book, the 30-day wellness journey, mindfulness, gratitude and growth. So Proverbs chapter 3, verse 8, it says, "This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones." And so if this, I'm sure many of us have read this, verse so many times, and, maybe it did not resonate with us until something happened to your body. So for me, it was something that, just understanding that in the Bible, like my husband always tell my kids, whenever things are going on in your life, the answer is in the Bible, not on social media. It is in the Bible. And so this book was birthed, because of that reason, just to give people that there's a lot of Bible verses where God has promised us, great health. So we are not just created to, you know, uh, I guess wake up every day, go to work, take care of kids, take care of house. No, we are created to thrive in our health. And you are mute.
Okay. What's the name of your book?
It's 30-day wellness journey.
Okay. Awesome.
Mindfulness, gratitude, and growth.
Awesome.
Yes. And I
Awesome.
will talk a little bit about it, later on. But
Okay,
I
sounds
just,
good.
yeah. So I put in every single day has a Bible verse that talks about health. And so again, Proverbs chapter 3, verse 8. This will bring health to your body and nourishment to your bones. And you only get to learn that if you seek, if you want to be healthy, because we have people that say, well, I want to be healthy, but they don't know exactly how to go about it. So there are people there that, have gone above and beyond to learn about it and then, educate the population that who are interested in learning about health and wellness. And that's where I come in. So first thing that we are going to start off, our topic today is about gut health. Whatever else that we have to do, your gut has to be healthy. If your gut is not healthy, it doesn't matter how much exercise you are, doing. It doesn't matter how much care that you are taking. It doesn't matter how much sleep you're trying to get. Your gut needs to be healthy. So I'm going to take it to you guys. Let me make sure that everybody can see me. So I will take it to you guys, like I talk to my students. I teach anatomy and physiology. And so when we talk about the cells, okay, all of our body starts off as an atom. So atom comes together, form molecules. Molecules come together and form cells. And so in order for you to be able to heal your body, we have to go back to the cells. Without healing the cells, whatever else that we are doing is not going to, matter. So when we look at a cell is, there's like, three parts of a cell. So think of a cell like your house. You have your house and you have walls, okay? That wall in a cell is what we call cell membrane or plasma membrane. That wall will only allow certain things to come in or certain things to go out. So just like, we're in our door would allow people to come in or people to go out. That is what our cell wall is, or our cell membrane or plasma membrane. Then inside your house, you have your beds, you have your toilets, you have rooms, all of that. That's organelles that we have in our inside the cells, and those are what we call the cytoplasm. Then inside there, you have your nucleus, which is the powerhouse. Okay, so the nucleus is like the one that makes the genetics and all of that. So nucleus, I always say the nucleus is like the kitchen, where things are being cooked up. And so, we enjoy the smell and all of that. So now what happens is that on our wall, we have good bacteria. And so those good bacteria are like the guards. They will guard this, the cell membrane, making sure that nothing is getting in. Now, what happens is that when we are eating junk food, okay, those junk food will now start destroying these good cells, right? So the junk food are going to be bringing in bad bacteria. Bad bacteria will overwhelm the good bacteria, destroy them. And therefore, the wall that is closing like this will now open up. And this is what we call the leaky guts. Yeah. You are mute, Miss Beth.
That's awesome. This is awesome. The way you explain it is such a manner that is not complex, that even I can get it. I see it. That how
Yes.
junk food presses against that wall and opens up the
Yes.
opportunity. Okay.
Yes.
Leaky gut.
And so
I get it.
and
Yeah.
and so once those walls open up, guess what? There's no more guards. Things will start getting inside the cells and they start to destroy the cells, right? So now it all depends on what takes over. So the things I always tell my students, I also tell my clients is your cell, quote unquote, get angry. When they get angry, it can come up as cancer. It can come up as high blood pressure. It can come up as diabetes. It can come as autoimmune disease, all kinds of diseases, you name it, all because of this wall that is now destroyed.
Wow.
And so, in order for you to heal from these diseases, you got to heal the cell wall. If you don't heal the cell wall, that's why people, when they have diabetes, they take medication for the rest of their lives. High blood pressure, you take medication for the rest of your life. Because what we are doing in medicine is that we are putting a band-aid. We are technically managing your symptoms, not treating it, right? That's why when people stop taking their meds, what happened? It comes back up again. And so not just that you are taking one medication, you end up getting a side effect from that one medication. You
Mm.
take two side effects, take three, okay, and the cycle continues. So this
Because
is
the
just
medication, now you're adding prescription drugs that are
mm-hmm.
impacting other organs, right?
Yes.
Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct?
Yes.
And oh my God, while you're trying to treat the impact of one opportunity, you're introducing the potentiality for others, right?
Yes. And some of the things that people don't understand is that when you are taking medication, so I'll give you an example. You can be taking like, one of the high blood pressure medication, and most people don't even look at the side effects of all these medications, right? So you go in and you see that medication that you are taking, all of a sudden your cholesterol levels start to go up. And so you're like, I've never had cholesterol problems. So why am I, getting okay? So now this is a side effect coming from that medication. And they have to give you another medication to help you manage the cholesterol. And now you're taking statin, which is one of the, one of the worst medication out there. So you're taking statin to, combat the cholesterol. Now, statin causes a lot of, myositis, meaning like, inflammation in the muscles, which is what people will complain about, has other side effects. And now you are getting another medication to help with those muscle pains and whatnot. So you see
Wow.
how you go from just one medication to now taking more, all because your cell wall has been destroyed.
Wow. Wow.
So, so I know when I talk about it, it just again, it took me a while to really get it. Even though as a medical student, at the time I learned those things in medical school. And then as a doctor, you are learning, our goal is you come in, you have high blood pressure. Let me give you medication. Okay, I can't sleep well. There's a medication for that, So whatever thing that, I'm depressed, we go in now, you guys, I'm sure when you go to your PCP, they give you a list of, checkbox, so they will know, are you depressed? So if you're depressed, let's give you medication. So all of this, again, we are going to tie them all to our brain and our gut. When your gut is not, healed, your brain is not going to be healed. It
Wow.
affects it. And because the brain talks to every part of our body, every part of the body is going to suffer.
I as I listen to you being a medical doctor, putting this good knowledge out there for God's people, for everyone to be able to come to this table and eat. I wish everybody were on this call, everyone, every GCBN member. Such a great opportunity for us to really glean
Mhm.
about owning our own health. I mean, I'm just in this first 10 minutes here have understood and added to my edification related to my health, the impact. So keep it coming, keep it coming. I just want to say that I'm just already blessed. Yeah.
All right. So now, again, this is just a little background. I wanted to, put that so that when I start my PowerPoint, hopefully will make sense,
Okay.
right?
Gotcha.
So now when we get our food in, so let's say for example, you eat, whatever food that you want to eat, our teeth does what it does, right? It goes down into our esophagus, go into our stomach, mixes it up, and then it gets into the small intestine. And so the small intestine is really where the digestion actually occurs, right? So it gets absorbed into the bloodstreams. And so in the blood vessels, they are being taken over, to different parts. They're also being taken to the liver. The liver is going to do, the detox, and also the liver is going to basically kind of sort it all out, in a simpler way, sort it all out, and
Mhm.
then decide to now, send them where they need to go to, right?
Right.
So
Right.
that's why when you hear people talk about detox, okay, so what is that detox doing? Again, detox is not really, like most people say detox is cleaning out your system. Quite all right, it is cleaning out your system, but what it's also doing is empowering those organs that help us to be able to detox, because we eat all the time. And when we are eating all the time, we stress these organs, right? We overload the organs. And so when you are overloading them, just think about, when you work, if you work like 12 hours a day, okay? You work 12 hours a day, you get
Hmm.
tired, right? 12 hours versus working, let me say 6 hours. That's a huge difference, right? And so if you work 6 hours a day, like you look forward to your 6 hours, you're done, you can come back, rest. But if you have a 12-hour shift, that's a long time that you have to work. And by the time you are done with your 12 hours, you're cranky, right? You don't want to talk to anybody. You're tired. That's the same thing, that's the same thing our body does. When we don't give our body that rest, then our organs, our cells, they will get cranky and they will start manifesting in different things, things will start to show. And so yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, like for instance, me and my sleep habits, I'm praying about them, I'm fasting. We can be overwhelmed in business sometimes and feel like I got to get this done, I got to get this done. And even we purpose to go to sleep, but if our mind is in that place of what you're telling me. I'm understanding so much. The brain is over functioning, and then I can't rest because I've got all of these things on my mind.
Yes.
Aisha, I don't know if she's over on the Facebook side of the house or not, but she and I were talking about this, and we have an appointment, as a matter of fact, this afternoon. And I said, "Well, Dr. Chi Chi's gonna be on." But boy, do we have some things already to understand about the urgency of just making that space and just that rest. I'm really focused on it this year too, though. I really am, is making certain that rest is a priority. But what you're telling me is this brain has to shut down some too. Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm showing you this book there. This is a book that I bought. I'm going to read. Is I listened to the podcast, Why We Sleep, by
Uh-huh.
Dr. Matthew Walker. He's actually from England or UK.
Uh-huh.
So he talks about, Alzheimer patients that he works with, that they've actually noticed that, again, when you're not sleeping. So mind you, this is just a another portion of sleep, lack of
Uh-huh.
sleep. So, people who have Alzheimer has been linked to not getting enough sleep.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Who's the author again? The author again.
Dr. Matthew Walker.
Oh, okay.
Matthew Walker.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. Okay.
All right. So, sleep is wonderful. Again, it gives us that time to rest. It gives our brain the time to rest. It gives our cells, time to also rest, because they have to rest and then be able to, get up again to, do work. And so when the brain is not rested, when the cells are not rested, guess what? They get angry. Like I said, they get angry, they are stressed. And what happened? What hormones? Cortisol hormones, right? Cortisol gets released because it's part of our stress, hormones. And not just that, the stress hormone releases another hormone that we call epinephrine, norepinephrine. Epinephrine, binds to your blood vessels, causing them to constrict. That increases your blood pressure. This is, one thing coming from not sleeping. And another thing also is that with the stress, what happens is people tend to eat a lot. And when you're eating, and not just you're eating unhealthy stuff, then those fats that you're supposed to be, again, breaking down, all the sugar, again, this would be another topic that I would, have to go into. But, again, those fats, they get stored somewhere. This is why sometimes you see some people, they are skinny, but then they have guts. And you're
Yeah.
like, why? Why do you have all these? But that's because of the cortisol, because a lot of times, people are going through stress. And so that fat that needs to be stored somewhere, the fat doesn't have any other place to go. So the fat will find itself in our abdominal region. And so you have people having, little pooch.
Okay. Gotcha. Wow. Whoa. This is amazing, because sometimes people think because of their makeup, or I don't even know how to word it exactly, in their smaller frame,
Mhm.
that they can eat whatever, and they look at, because they're not gaining weight, but they don't see what you just said, is that gut health is not well, and the pouch is indicative of that. you know
Mhm.
okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
Wow. Oh, wow, this is good.
All right, so hopefully I've given you guys a little background on this. So now let's jump into the PowerPoints. Let's hopefully I'll keep on explaining a little bit more.
Uh-huh.
So here it's basically just understanding detox and the gut health. And so my foundation wise, our body built in detox, we have, six of those. We have our liver, we have kidneys, we have our lymph, we have lungs, we have our skin, and we have our gut. Again, I'm gonna go through each one of them. So why your gut is your second brain. Gut, again, brain connection, mood, cravings, and immunity.
Mm.
So real quick, when it comes to here, the God-brain connection, think about when you're eating your favorite food, right?
Mhm.
What do you do? Okay, we see it a lot in kids, okay, but in adults, sometimes, they might be doing it and don't even know. They'll start, dancing, or they start singing, or they start moving their
Happy.
body. Yeah. Right? That is that, the gut-brain connection. We have that, we call it a neurotransmitter, which is a, chemical in a layman's term, serotonin. We have a lot of this serotonin in our guts, and that serotonin is what helps us to feel good. That's that, chemical, quote unquote, that people who are depressed are missing.
Mhm.
Okay, or not that they're missing, it is decreased. Okay, so but when you're eating your good food, or when you're hanging out with your friends, you feel lively. That is because of this serotonin. Okay. Now, what are the signs that your gut needs a reset? Bloating, fatigue, brain fog, skin issues, sugar cravings, weight plateau. And again, I'll talk a little bit more on this. So how does, detox actually work? Okay. So detox is not something that you have to force. Okay. It's something that supports, again, those organs that I just talked about, those 6 organs. The detox basically helps to support them. Okay. So basically helping to, help them so that they can empower themselves and be able to do their job. So your body has an intelligent built-in detoxification system made up of, again, 6 organs, which I just mentioned. They all work together every single day to neutralize and remove toxins. Problems arise not because your body cannot detox itself, but because this system, they are overloaded or they are not supported well. All right, so let's start with the first one, the liver. The liver is our master detox organ. So the liver processes everything that we ingest, again, your food, your drink, medication, all of that. It
Mhm.
works in 2 phases. The first phase is that it breaks the toxins into smaller pieces. The second phase is that it binds those toxins so that they can safely leave the body. And this is why when people have liver issues, they will get, you start to see it show up in their body. When the liver is overwhelmed, estrogen builds up, our blood sugar will become unstable, fatigue and the brain fog increases, weight loss, stales. Again, these are all a lot of things that we see when the liver is overwhelmed. Again, a sluggish liver means a toxic body. All right. Our liver does most of the detox, again, between the time of 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. And guess what? This is the time that most of us don't get to sleep. All right,
Gosh.
they are sitting and tossing around. And so that obviously, leads to poor sleep. Because of poor sleep, because again, we are not sleeping well, it's going to slow our liver detox. It's going to raise our blood sugar. It's going to disrupt our hormones. It also causes an increase in hunger the next day. We start to crave things. Sometimes we crave things and you're like, I don't even like those things. Why am I craving those things? This is why, because we didn't sleep well.
Wow.
Go ahead.
Go back to the slide before that, prior to this one. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So the 2 phases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, what I was looking at is when the liver is overwhelmed and estrogen builds up. Oh my gosh, blood sugar becomes unstable. Okay, that brain fog, that fatigue and brain fog. Okay. And the weight loss stalls. And something Jess and I were, she's cruising right now, but something that she and I were talking about, you can do everything as you said in the beginning, check all the boxes with exercise. This is way before you even got started and you set the preliminary out there. And this is the support for that. This is the outcome of that is doing all of that proves putting in all that effort, but then this happens.
Mm-hmm.
because of the lack of sleep between that 10 and 2 hour. Wow,
Yeah.
that's amazing. The weight loss stalls. You've checked the
Yes.
boxes. You're eating correctly. You're exercising.
Mm-hmm. And I will tell you, for me, I've always obviously been a thin person, but when I got diagnosed with high blood pressure, I was in shock. And I was in shock because I felt like, I was eating healthy, I'm exercising. Those are like my two key things. But then so when I started to find, look for like, what are my alternative way of healing myself, because I already know what medication does to your body. And that's when, uh, stump into holistic, healing. And I learned that I was not sleeping. Okay, even though like then I used to brag, I mean, I'm sure a lot of young people at the time, oh, you sleep 3 hours. Oh, I can do all things all day, because I have all energy. But we did not realize that you are slowly killing yourself. And I still see that, like I have one of my students that say, oh, I only, sleep 3 or 4 hours and I'm good the whole day. And I'm like, and I kept encouraging him, no, try to get more sleep, because right now it might seem like, oh, it's a bragging tag, but once you hit a certain age, it's gonna show up. And
Mm,
so that, for me, and then even when I was thinking I was eating healthy, there's a lot of things that I was eating that I did not realize were not healthy.
mm,
Okay.
mm. I,
So so again, all of that takes a lot of, learning, a lot of educating yourself, to understand. And I hear people who say, oh, but I only eat once a day. Why am my weight still the same? But it's just, what is that one food that you are eating, right? So,
and what are you putting in your body is what I hear
yes,
you saying. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. In that one meal a day, you know.
Mm-hmm,
Is
mm-hmm.
it proper? The things even you said as a physician that you thought you were putting in your body, you didn't realize the impact of what they were doing. I mean, I'm still stuck on those walls opening up, but yeah,
I
okay,
always like to use that because that helps you to understand, you know, how can I help myself to close back this wall?
yeah,
Because if I
yeah,
cannot close it, it doesn't matter how much medication that I'm giving myself, I'm still going to be in the same cycle.
right, right.
All right, so now we are done with the liver. Now we go into the kidney. The kidney is our filtration system. Okay, so we are blessed with two kidneys. Some of us may have donated, one kidney to somebody. But even at that, again, like I always tell my students, I always tell them, I don't know if you believe in God or not, but I believe in God who, you know, I mean, sometimes I just think like, how did he know how to do all of this? And then I have to tell myself, he is not human, right? He is God. And so, having to understand the way that our body system was set up,
Uh-huh.
set it up that way, that every organ has, has
Amazing.
their own job, but they all work together. If one organ is, malfunctioning, the rest of them is, it's just like, think of like twins. You have one twin who start crying, and then the other one doesn't even know why the other twin is crying, but the other twin start crying too.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's what's going on with our organs. So again, here the kidney filters our blood and also remove waste product, through urine.
Mm.
So when we have, poor hydration, high salts, and again, I always, try to mention this, high salts, because whenever we talk about salts, I wish I had brought my salt so I can show you guys, but we have to also make sure that, we understand that there are different types of salts. The one that everybody uses all the time, those are the ones that are very poisonous. The real salt, which is a Himalayan or Haitian, I can't even remember how to pronounce it. You know,
Himalayan or something. Yeah.
yes, Himalayan salts.
Uh-huh.
Those are the real salts, okay? Because the other ones, they are filled with all
So the
kinds.
sea salt. too, or just a Himalayan or the pink?
So if you, yeah, if you're gonna get a sea salt, make sure that it just says sea salt. There's nothing else in it. That
Okay.
is the key thing. Yeah, you have to read the ingredients so you can see exactly what's in it, right? And it was
And
so
that's
interesting
pure.
to
You're
me.
saying that's pure salt, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So
Okay.
and that's something that is interesting because I was watching a lady that she's actually I think a clinician also. She was talking about the difference, between salts and she brought out different salts. And so I went in and I was looking at because I have one salt that I use for, washing my fruits and veggies. And I was looking, I was like, oh my goodness, I've never paid that. I mean, I read, ingredients. But in my mind, I thought the salt is salt. It's just salt, nothing else. But then when I looked at the salt and I realized that there's other things inside it, and that is why those salts are poisonous.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. One day we may take labels. Maybe we get you and Julie on the call
Okay.
together and help uh with the labels, reading the labels
Mm-hmm.
because we want it practical. We're talking about this is the
Yes.
year of the shift. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm already so convicted up in here. I'm just going to tell you, I've got to make because I'm making some changes, some powerful changes, but I know that God has called to me to a greater work through the shift this year. And so
Yes.
because of that, I can't say, well, I know you're supposed to drink 8 um glasses of water, and I'll just
No,
do 4, you know.
no.
Oh, you're gonna
That's
change that? What are you gonna
yes,
tell
that's
me?
not right. So what is okay? So again, how do we know how much water we're supposed to drink? Get your weight divided into two. So let's say, for example, if you weigh 140 pounds, divide that into two. That's
Thank
70.
you.
That's 70.
Thank
So
you.
you're supposed to drink 70 ounces of water a day.
So
Yeah.
whatever my weight is divided by 2, I need to drink that
Every single day.
every
Yes.
single day.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
All
And
right.
I have such admiration when my grandkids come over and they bring that. They even for my birthday got me one. They each have, even little 2-year-old Bailey, 5-year-old, soon to be 6, as she said, Alessia, their mom, Bianca, she got Romy one too. They have these little containers that keeps it. Yeah, I like mine room temperature. And she said, whatever you
Mm-hmm.
put in is what it'll keep it to. And they got me one for Christmas, but I mean, for my birthday, but they carry it around, and I'm really on them when they're here because she's on them to drink their water. But what I admire, they've gotten into the habit, even in the 2-year-old, is they'll go get their water and just drink it.
Drink
Me,
it.
honestly, total transparency, I don't like water. I make myself drink water. The best for me, and I hope you're not going to tell me this isn't good, is I found my husband and I both agree on just drinks Fiji, and that expensive stuff, and she said that's what's for her taste and that works for her. But what I don't even like that, but what I like is Publix purified, and I can
Okay.
get it to go down. It goes down.
Okay.
Is that okay that I'm drinking
That's
purified and not spring? Somebody said spring is just out of somebody's spring somewhere. I don't know.
I mean, as long as you're getting in the water. So another thing that I also tell my clients, because I also have a client that have not drank water in years, and she started drinking water. So one of the things that I, tell people is put, whatever fruit that you like. So let's say if you
Like
like to,
lemon and oranges, and
yeah,
yeah, I do some of that.
so
Yeah.
whatever fruit that you like that will allow you to be able to drink enough water for the day, do it. And that's how she actually started drinking water. So she found, like whatever fruit that she liked, she will put it in her water, and that helps her to be able to drink enough water every single day.
Question again about the water. What about my coffee? What about my protein shakes I use water as a base for all that? Is that counting to get me the
Yes,
water intake? Okay.
yes, yes.
Okay. I'm still
Okay.
not where I need to be with that half
With
thing, but
that.
I feel real good about it, and I feel better, let me tell you, better
Okay,
from you saying that
that's
because
good.
someone told me, and I'm trusting you, is that the water in my coffee, I drink my coffee black, um, I prefer that, but they're saying that doesn't count. And they said that even though I start off my protein shake with a whole 8 ounces of water, and just a protein that I get from Melaleuca, they're saying those two cancel out. Something cancel out the water. And I was like, how is that so? Water
No,
is water, right?
yeah, yeah. So
Okay.
that also counts into what you're drinking. That's part of your water intake.
Okay,
And
awesome.
I will applaud you for drinking your coffee black because you know why? Black coffee is very high in antioxidants, and it
Yes, I
helps
got a
reduce.
win. I don't feel so beaten up today from I was like, oh my God, this is just really this is good. Thank you. Thank you.
No
I got a
problem.
win. How about that?
Yes. So here, again, when our, kidney is not functioning properly, we'll have fluid retention. We have puffiness. We see some people, they become puffy, fatigue, and then they also have elevated blood pressure. Again, detox cannot happen without water. So if you don't have water in your system, you cannot, detox yourself.
Mm. Oh
All
Lord.
right. Then we go into the lymphatic system. I know Julie, this is her area because she does those, lymphatic massage. So again, lymphatic system basically will help remove, waste product from our tissues, our immune cells. And so, again, just like the heart does its thing, the lymphatic system does not pump on its own. So it relies on us to be able to help, help it move. So when I say, kind of help it to move things around, we have to be moving. Okay. When you're not moving, your lymphatic system is not able to, move those waste products out. Deep breathing. This is one of the reasons why, people have to learn how to do a deep breathing. Okay, when you are doing a deep breathing, that breath that comes out actually is part of, detox. Sweating, also, of course, if you are moving a lot, you are sweating, and that sweat is also removing toxins from your body.
I
So when
see.
our lymphatic system is stagnant, inflammation increases, immunity is going to weaken, and then also weight loss is going to slow down. And so again, still bodies, stagnant lymph. Okay, this is one of the reasons when you sit down for a long time, you notice your leg will start to swell up. That's one of the reasons. All right,
Y-
so we
You
talked
know,
about it.
I love
Yes,
I love how at the end you're putting the outcome.
yes.
Detox can't happen without water.
Mhm.
Uh, still bodies equals stagnant limp. This is so good. Thank you, Chi Chi.
No problem. And you also, we just talked about the liver, we talked about the kidney, we talked about the lymphatic system. So now we are going to the fourth organ, which is our lungs. Again, detoxing through our breathing. Every breath remove carbon dioxide and also, toxins. Now, remember that carbon dioxide is a toxin that our cells release. Okay, so of course, I have a deep, lecture into that, that I teach my students. And so, this is one of the reasons why when people go through that whole shallow breathing, okay, they are limiting the amount of detox that their body goes through. And that's why we learn about, breathing. Because again, when you are doing your deep breathing, you are releasing. And if you again, anybody that is listening, when people are going through anxiety, what happens? You tell them to take a deep breath, right? Take a deep breath and then breathe out. What are you doing? You are releasing that anxiety. That's the toxin. You are detoxing their body through breathing. Okay. And
Wow.
by doing that, we are also keeping their nervous system, relaxed. So deep breathing is a detox tool.
I love it. I love, we have Toby Carvana that's a member of GCBN. And I just love, in fact, I've got to reach out to her today. And this is such a confirmation at the prayer breakfast on Saturday morning. Hope you're joining us. I don't know if you're able to come, but I'm going to have Toby, if she'll be willing. She's already registered. And so I'm just going to ask her to take that space and take an opportunity to talk about the breathing. I just was thinking about that, but honest, full transparency here. I didn't know that it was a detox tool. She facilitates the importance, and she goes into a lot of benefits for taking those deep breaths and such. And I'm going to ask her to do that on Saturday. I had already had that in my mind. And when you said this, I'm like,
Hmm.
this is God. All of this is God, because we want to be well in
Yes.
2026 to experience all that God has for us, you know? You
And
know,
one of the things I like about, the theme for this year, when you say shift, again, that for you to be able to shift, that means that you have noticed that some things are not working as it's supposed to. Now you need to make a shift, right? And so, and that's, for me, it's when when I heard about the shift, I was like, okay, this is amazing because we do that in our life. We are doing something and we're like, you know what, I've been doing the same thing for the past 6 months and it's not working. I need to make a shift to
come
see
on,
if I
girl.
can do something else. And so and of course, us as a Christian, born again Christians, when we are making that shift, we are not making it on our own. We are seeking the face of God. It's
And when we think about a faith forward future focus and forgive, a lot of this is tied to me is and even the latter point of shift acronym for the year, transition that truth to trust. Those two are just resonating very, very strongly right now. And even, I guess, all of it, surrender to stale systems, because we thought this worked like this. We thought if I had a candy bar, just the calories in it are lower sometimes, which are a lot sometimes, but it'll fill me up. But look at what's inside of that candy bar and an impact that is having on my other organs and the rest of my body. But when I think about what you're telling us and the education that we receive and that we will continue to receive from you on this Living Well platform, and collectively, all of us, from Jessica Banner to Julie to you, and even as this afternoon when Shantae Robella does her recap of the whole month at 4 o'clock today, all of this is to strengthen the individual to be able to do better business in 2026. And I don't think people understand how their wellness contributes to their success. I mean, like going back to what, that brain fog thing, the foggy, God will give us witty inventions, new ideas and things like that. He has given us the power to get wealth. All of this is true. The Holy Spirit wants to speak to us and is speaking when we allow that space, but then we can't translate it because we got brain fog, or we're not coming across as fluently as we should, because something's not sinking here. And
yes.
I love this. I see it. I hear you. Speak to me. Okay. Speak to me.
Yes. And so we go to the skin. We all know that the skin, oops, we all know that our skin is the largest, detox organ that we have, obviously, through sweating. And the only way that we sweat is obviously when you're exercising, moving your body. You get to take off all those, toxin. And so when we are not able to do all of that, our pores, we have our pores, get blocked. Dehydration obviously will set in. Lack of movement obviously are going to also reduce, toxin elimination. And so with all of that happening with our skin, we start to see acne, we start to see rashes, we start to see, body odor, start to see inflammation. And this is something that is interesting that I always talk about, when like the eczema, right? And so I have my 11-year-old now. He had asthma and eczema since maybe he was like 2 years old or so. But eczema started obviously when he was born, and it was really bad. It was really really bad. Sometimes I feel so bad for him, because it's not just that when he was younger, it was like on his elbow, so where it can be covered. But as he started to grow up, you see it all up on the back of his hands. And so when I learned about, eating healthy and all of that, well, at first, before I even went into the whole health coaching, I heard about, cow milk. Okay, stop drinking cow milk, that will help him. So we stopped drinking cow milk and we started drinking almond milk. And so after a while, when I, got into the whole health coaching, I realized that, ooh, even the almond milk is not helpful. Okay. The almond milk is not helpful. So I started, making my own milk.
Now, why is almond milk? I always heard, I need to elaborate just a little bit on that. And
Okay.
I know we're not going to probably get through all of this today, but
Yes.
that's why
That's why
you're
we
here
have
on a
part
regular
two.
basis. Yeah,
That's
yeah,
why we have part two coming up.
that's right. Okay. But tell us about almond milk now, because I
Yeah.
thought that was the thing that was the better. And honestly, for me, I don't even drink milk, and I don't know if I should. So take all of that and talk to us, please.
Okay. So, almond milk, I actually have a full presentation on different milk that we have. So that could be another thing that I would do, another time. But,
Okay.
when we go to the store again, a key thing I always tell people, don't go and look at those, nutrition values and all of that, because those can be deceptive. Look at the ingredients. What are the make of it, right? And so the make of those ingredients, and the only people that I've seen that has a pure almond milk is Publix. And it costs like maybe $6 or something like that. Like, for a small, it only has almond milk. Well, it has almond milk and water, sea salt, right? Everything else has
$6 for how much? How many ounces or what? A paint? A
it's like a small
gallon?
thing.
Not a gallon then. Oh,
Uh, Well, but so now I bought it and I was, trying to show my kids. When you buy that and then you compare to the one that I make at home, you will see the difference because those ones in the store has a lot of water because again, I mean, when you're buying, I think how much is it's like $20 for almost, 4 ounces. 4 ounces of, almond. Okay. So now I'm buying almonds and I use it, multiple times to make my milk.
oh, okay. Okay.
Yes.
Just fresh
Now,
almonds. That's natural.
yes,
Yeah, no salt or anything like that. Just
yes,
almonds. Yeah.
just
Okay.
almonds. So what I do is like, 1 cup of, almond, then I put in like, 4 or 5 dates, depending on how sweet you want it to be. And then, I put 4 cups of water. And because,
So
I use,
dates are your sweetener.
yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then I also use vanilla extracts and then a little bit of salt because again, the salt kind of help to preserve it. It's gonna stay in the fridge for about 2 or 3 days. And that's one
Oh,
thing that I always tell people, like, look at that. So I remember the first time I started making milk, I made like, 2 jars of milk and then I put it in the fridge. And after 3 or 4 days, the milk went bad. And I was like, why? Why did it go bad? And then it dawned on me, the reason why it went bad is because it's all natural. The ones in the store has other additives that keep it longer in the shelf, right?
your salt
So
is your only preservative. A little bit
yes,
of salt is your preservative.
yes, yes.
That's amazing. Oh
So
my
I
goodness. But
started
how do
eating
you
that.
find time to do that though? You
It
got your
doesn't take
children, you got
that
your job.
long. It does not take that long. Literally, like, 30 seconds, milk is ready.
We can make some one day on the
Yes.
show. You'll do it. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Awesome. That's how fun I
So,
want this to be. I want it to be living well and making it showing us that it's easy. I'm talking me too. Maybe I'll be in my kitchen that day, um, and trying to, follow you to show that it can happen.
oh
You know,
yeah.
you know,
Yes.
God is good.
So,
This is good.
mm-hmm. So we wanna do you wanna stop
Yeah,
right here
yeah,
for
I
part
think we
two?
should stop right here. I think this is a good, but I am curious as to what water do you drink?
So basically my water intake is, the filtered water coming from my fridge. Mm,
Okay.
yeah. And
So
that's
so just you're filtering and it's
yes.
city water or whatever, I
Yeah.
guess. How about that? So you don't invest in bottled water or any of that.
I
You feel
don't
good
invest
about the
in them.
filter system in your refrigerator.
Yeah, so one of the things that I also have learned because of the bottles and the plastics, of course, with all the little why am I know what it is, but I can't think of the name, that are being released, from the plastics
Uh-huh.
that gets into the water. And
Microplastic.
yeah,
Ah.
it's a microplastic something. There's like it start with a P, and I can see the name in my face here. So, but you have all of that that seeps into the water. Yes. And
Oh my
those
goodness.
things are toxins that we are drinking in.
From bottled water.
Mhm.
Girl, my Lord.
Yes.
Okay.
And
And
the
we're paying
temptation,
to put that stuff in us. So
yes.
Phthalates.
Yes, thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
I was like, I
what is
know it
it?
is in
Spell
my
it,
head.
Lisa. What is it?
It's phthalates,
Yes.
but it's spelled with a PH. I'll put it in the chat.
Yes.
They're very
Please.
toxic. They're also in some of your products that you wear on your body. So you have
Yes.
to be really careful with them because they're hormone disruptors and they can really harm your body.
Yeah, endocrine disruptors. The reason why I was saying, like, because I just talked to my husband about it last night. We were discussing about it, with the deodorants. So that's why I was like, it's start with a P. Why can't I think of it? Yeah, thank you, Lisa. But
See, that's
so
why I use Melaleuca detergent. I just this is something else. Yeah, okay.
see it in our makeup, lipstick, all of those things, they are coming there, they put it in there. Plastics that we use to store our food. Okay. So that's one of the reasons for me now. I've went and bought like all these, glasswares, so I can use them. I'm changing all my pots. So again, it's becoming aware. Remember when I was talking about initial time is that God has given us this knowledge. Of course, some people know it more than the others. Some people are able to, you know, just like I'm doing right now. I educating people, educating, the population so that they will really understand what's happening, what's going on, what am I putting in my body? Because a lot of time people don't understand that what they are putting in their body is actually harming them, right? Like I talk to my kids now, they are all into the whole, oh, like Burger King and McDonald's, because we've watched a documentary and we've talked about it. So USDA and FDA, if your burger has 30% meat, it's considered meat.
30%.
Yes.
You're kidding me. You know what? We're and I'm not trying to sell folk on Melaleuca, but we sell 100% beef. And the beef is grown. I'm serious. And we had Jess and I won because we sell it. Okay, we're distributors of Melaleuca. But I don't, this is the first time I think I even put it on the show broadcast, Lisa. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure I've not said it if I have more than once or twice, if that. But we won the beef, and we just determined ourselves, she's cruising. I said that when she comes back, we're placing orders on a regular basis because I'm telling you, we won like all of this beef. She won some, and I did too. And it is a distinct difference in the taste. Blew us away because we only get we buy Publix meat, that's where I don't do this whole a lot of different places. I don't want to name names and all that stuff, um, but I want to tell you that that is sad that we have fast food restaurants that are selling less than, you said 30% is the minimum,
Yes.
not even 50%
Oh,
of,
30% is
of
the
beef
minimum.
product. What are the fillers? What are they putting in it?
Now that's how we ask them. What else do you put in there to make it look like it's beef?
Yes,
Right?
and FDA approved this?
Is a lobbying system.
Girl, bye.
It's a lobbying
See,
system.
Lisa, what about you? This
Don't
is like,
don't even look at the chicken. Don't even look at the chicken. Like I don't
I'm
even
so
want to.
really, I don't even eat chicken anymore, and that's a whole nother story. But I mean, this whole thing is just really, I'm just blown away today. Now I'm beat up too, Chi Chi. I'm just gonna tell you, you just stepped
Sorry,
on some
I don't
toes.
want to beat you
That no,
up.
but
It's
it's
a
a
good
good
way.
beating.
It's
It's
a
a
good
good
way.
beating. It's a good beating. This is why I don't. You don't even know what you're doing, right, Lisa? We don't even know what we're doing. We invite Chi Chi to our panelists, so we got to go throughout life with living well with hearing from Chi Chi.
That's okay though. I think you're an answer to my prayer because I've been praying. And when you were talking about the pooch, I said I feel attacked. LOL. But
I saw that.
but if you
I wish
think
I had seen it earlier because I was sitting up here like, am I the only one? I'm sitting here. I'm the co-host.
no, oh no, ma'am. And I think, but it's true, and it does your gut health, as Chi Chi said. It affects your emotions. It affects your mental awareness. All of that is tied together. Your gut health is your second brain, right? And sometimes we know this. I know this. I was in a direct sales company that sold nothing but organic and natural products for about 6 years, and then still use them. I know that, but sometimes we don't always do what we know. So we need to get back to the roots, and we need to
Yeah.
shift our mindset and get back to what we know to do. And I think it's amazing because I've been even praying, but just knowing that you have people in our circle right here at GCBN that
Yeah.
are health and wellness experts. I would say experts like Dr. Chi Chi. She knows what she's talking about.
She does.
Yeah.
She
So
does. And when you find someone with this level of passion, um and doing that, you know, if you will, for free to help educate God's people, then this is believable because she's not trying to sell us anything, which I'm gonna tell you, if and it may be Renee because she's over here, I don't know, but we're giving out a copy of your book because I gotta get one too. So
Thank you.
today, and we'll promote this because it's important that people get a copy of this so that we can go forward. It's also going to be very important that they track with us on the Living Well broadcast,
Yes.
because I'm really just determined this food thing is scriptural. What does Proverbs 23:6 say? As a man thinketh, so is he. Okay.
Yep.
And so what we think about what we put in, we have to be careful because it goes on down there. Lisa, help me out. 23:7 might say, be careful about eating food out of someone with an evil hand. Uh, uh, no, 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 no. Hear me, because this just broadened this for me.
Yes.
We have to be careful to define evil. We don't have time to do a word search on that and everything, but people that don't have your best interests at heart, eating that food, the hamburger that we had from River Bend, and if you need Melaleuca, call me. Okay. All right. But if the beef, we were like, oh my God. The taste of it. And we did the research and everything because we didn't focus on that side of the company. We focused on like the cleansers and all of that. And we just happened to win all of this stuff. And we started tasting it. And it was just distinct difference in the taste, the way it cooks up. It's pure beef. And
Yes.
I'm like, you're telling me this, and it's just kind of like, what are the fillers? What are they doing to us? That's why people at a younger age, and I guess you'll get to this at some point, are expiring earlier. I don't know.
It's not just expiring, also cancer is on the rise. We're seeing little kids like, having cancer. When I was in medical school, we only have just seen about what, like two or so, cancer that kids get, and then adults. And when you talk about cancer, you're looking at people who are in their 60s, 70s. Now cancer is like, free Oprah, gift. You get cancer, you get cancer. It's like you go to the doctor's office and you have one, they do a lab work, and in your mind, you're just like, well, I hope, nothing comes back negative, or positive, or, things. So again, for me, just understanding, and there's another book, again, we'll talk about it, later on. I also got this book, The Case Against Sugar. Oh, we have sugar in pretty much everything that we eat. And guess what? Cancer loves sugar.
It
And
craves
that's,
it. Yeah. Yeah.
yes. And so we eat, all this sugary stuff. We are enabling cancer.
Mm.
Cancer is growing like crazy. Even the physicians, even the scientists, they are still. I just finished watching a video about cancer, and the thing is that we still have not been able to understand how normal cells can decide to become cancerous.
Just normal cells because we're
Normal
beating
cells.
that sugar probably. And oh my goodness. Dr. Chichi, this has been wonderful. I'm gleaning, I kind of left the broadcast and became like a student here today. And I'm just gleaned so much from you. Renee says there's so much wisdom being imparted here today to help us shift physically at the beginning of the year. I'm so very, very grateful, thankful. If you're free Saturday, I tell you, I've been looking for another sponsor. Phyllis Breach signed up to sponsor, but I've been looking for another sponsor to bring their stuff in and put them on the platform for a little bit. I would love for you to come out. um, I am just
Unfortunately, I'm speaking somewhere else on Saturday.
Saturday. Okay, we'll
Yeah, I'm
get you another time. Or I'm telling you, and I'm going to tell you something I was thinking. You got to come to GGG this year. I'm not, no ifs and buts about it. You got to come and we got to talk because this is something we
okay.
have got to just really get out here. And I mean, this is broadcast podcast one. This is number one, Lisa. I might have to get somebody else a host, Lisa, a host, and I'll just be on here listening and gleaming and taking notes. I mean, I'm sitting here. I'm just gonna be totally transparent here. Okay, look, my camera. Look what I'm doing. Okay, because what am I doing? What do you see? Screenshot after
Uh,
screenshot after screenshot. I'm sitting there taking this stuff. And I'm gonna send it to Jess. Oh my God, we got so much to do. And you're gonna have to help us pace it though, so that we're not, overwhelmed with trying to do everything at once.
Yes,
So,
yes.
but thank
I
you
still
so much.
have, yeah, I still have like another presentation, but I love what you just said right now because in my mind, when I was prepping for this, I'm like, I wish I have a way that we can slow down and not worry so much about going to another topic, because this is a way that people will be able to really understand your why. Like I always tell my clients, what is your why? Why do you want to be healthy? Because a lot of times, people want to be healthy because they want to see their daughter walk, down the aisle or see their son, get married, but they forget about themselves. And this is a true thing, I've heard so many stories of people say, oh, when I retire at 65, I'm going to start traveling, I'll do all of these things. By the time they retire, they get hit with sickness. and they don't get to travel.
Mm.
So this is
Yeah.
something
Mm.
that we really need to, take serious and understand that if we don't take care of ourselves, nobody else is gonna take care of us. And the people that you are left that you think, like I remember I met, two young girls at Costco, and one was like, yeah, I already get my sister is gonna take care of me when I'm sick. And I started explaining to her, do you think it's fair on her that your sister will live her own life to be taking care of you, take you to the hospital all the time, take you to your doctor's appointment, to do all of this, and you have a child? And so when I was telling her that, and you can see something hit her and also hit her sister. Because people don't think about it. We are, oh yeah, I have kids, they will take care of me in my old age. Yes, what if you don't get to that old age if you don't take care of yourself? Now you are putting those kids, they have to call off work to take you to a doctor's appointment. They have to, God forbid you get sick, they have to be coming to the hospital to look after you. And that's why, the system here makes us, take people to home, all these home health or home care, and you keep these people there and they don't take care of them, especially when people know that you don't, family member does not come to look after them, they leave them there.
Sad, very sad, very sad. Okay, we gotta close, but I just want to say again, I'm with Renee saying thank you, Dr. Chi. Blessings. God is doing such a magnificent thing, a marvelous work here at Georgia Christian Business Network with people that He has allowed to be members of our network that are willing to give back. It's about the kingdom. It's about living long to, first of all, do the kingdom calling and fulfill that purpose that God has given for you. He's ordained you to do a good work. Ephesians 2:10 says he created us in Christ Jesus to do that good work. And then me personally, I don't want to be a burden to my children. I'm 67 years old, and I'm more on this side than that side right now. But I believe that there is still great work within me. I mean, when I tell you how my calendar is filling up for 2026, God is telling me there's still purpose that I have for you. And I want to do it, and I want to do it in excellence, but I want to be well doing it, you
Yeah.
know? And so I am so grateful to you and the other Wellness Wednesdays panelists for being here at Living Well Wednesday with us. And thank you for this today. I'm so looking forward to your next opportunity. And if you get a chance, come sit in with us when Jessica and Julie and those are here. I thought Julie was going to be here today, but something must have come up because she wanted to be here for you. But listen, I'm so excited about what's happening at Georgia Christian Business Network in 2026. This is the year of the shift.
Yeah.
And as you can hear in this broadcast, we're already shifting into higher gear to be better for the kingdom, for those that God has assigned to us. GCBN is stepping up to the plate to say, God, we are here for you and we are here for your people. Use us as your vessels that we may be able to help those that you've assigned to us to be well through Living Well Wednesday. Thank you so much for joining us today. Visit our website, gcbnetwork.com. We are focused, determined, and intentional to put God back in business. Lisa, do you know who's first up for February? I haven't looked. I don't know if Rose has got it out
But
there
I can
yet.
try to.
I know Jason Davis is on the 10th of February. I don't know who's kicking off in February. But we're totally excited about our Transformation Tuesday platform and all that God is doing through our special guests that bring that business knowledge expert that we're able to glean business acumen to grow our businesses from that perspective. And then we're following with these Living Well broadcasts that are really just amazing, all from Julie last week, from Jessica kicking us off the first two Wednesdays of the month. And I'm just so excited. I don't even know how Shantae Robulick is going to pull all this together in her in her recap for the year. So, oh my goodness, Bernice Loman is going to join us on next Tuesday. And if listen, you better sign up now. You better put that on your calendar as we kick off February. We're going to focus on the H. This month for January, we focused on the S in shift, surrender stale systems. And I'm telling you, when I look at this February lineup from Bernice Loman, Jason Davis, Dr. Teresa Carthen, and Angie Sella. Oh, and in Transformation Tuesday of next month. And then our first Friday noon nugget, Pamela Bartea. I almost said doctor. You know, God is so good. God is so good. He's doing a new thing here. And Pamela's got some new things to tell us about what God's doing with her life. And we're looking forward to hearing that. And Living Well Wednesday, the platform, what are we talking about here in this platform? Oh gosh, go low to go high, prayer, fasting, and journaling, lean out to lean in, discipleship, community, and service, gut health reset part 2, what Chi Chi did today. And then Julie's going to end the month for us with stress of the heart, God's heart or earthly heart. And then Shantae is going to wrap it up. I'm telling you, God is up to something. It's wonderful. What we want to do is ask you when you're at gcbnetwork.com, you look for an opportunity to become a member, to become a sponsor. We'd love to have you join us. We're expanding the network. God is doing a great work here, and we won't come down. Join us on this Saturday in person at Cornerstone Co-working 9:30. We have Dr. David Anthony Clark coming up from Middle Georgia. Lisa, he's been with us 10 plus years as a faithful member. Yeah. And he has a word for us for 2026, our first in-person opportunity at Georgia Christian Business Network. Get registered today so that you can be in the room. Two people told me yesterday there's going to be some wintry mix. I looked at that and I researched it. Listen, prayer is going forth. Okay, that God has a plan and we are part of it. It didn't equate to hardly anything that I saw. So if you need an excuse not to come, you can use that. But what I want to encourage you to do is to come, because I believe there's a word for you on Saturday through Dr. Clark. Okay. Thank you guys. Sorry we went a little long today, but I believe that it was worth it. It was for me. I hope you got yours, because I sure got mine. Okay. I've got homework to do. And Dr. Chi Chi, you are amazing. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
All right. God bless you now. Take care. Bye
All right.
bye now.